Giants aren't just huge, they're unstoppable. One wrong move and they can take down elk, deer, or even bison. And they do it with terrifying patience. And here's where it gets even stranger. The grizzly isn't just a brute, it's a master of timing. That massive frame, pure power, every muscle coiled and ready. When it decides to strike, it's sudden, almost shockingly fast, like the forest itself holds its breath. You might think such a beast would be loud, obvious, easy to spot. But grizzlies are the opposite. They move like shadows, calculating every step, watching, waiting. 1 second you see nothing, and the next it's right there, swiping, lunging, commanding respect from everything in its path. Watching a grizzly hunt isn't just seeing an animal. It's feeling raw survival, pure force, and patience all rolled into one terrifying, awe-inspiring moment. Makes you wonder, could you even escape if you were in its sights? Grizzly bear versus mountain lion. And this part blew my mind. Seeing a grizzly bear face off with a mountain lion is pure wild chaos. Mountain lions are legendary hunters, fast, silent, precise. They can slip through forests like ghosts, eyes sharp, muscles tense, ready to strike before you even notice. But put one of these sleek predators against a grizzly bear, and the story changes completely. Suddenly, speed isn't enough, stealth doesn't mean safety, and raw power dominates. In the first scene, a mountain lion casually descends a slope, glancing back like it senses something off. And then, bam! The grizzly emerges from the trees, massive and unshakable. The lion, confident one moment, suddenly lies down to rest. But the calm doesn't last. The bear moves closer, and panic sets in. That elegant feline bolts, sprinting as fast as it can, knowing it's no match for the bear's strength. You can almost feel the tension in the air, the heartbeat of the forest rising with every step. Then there's the mother mountain lion. She's up top with her cubs when a familiar scent sends her alert. Instinct kicks in. She moves the cubs to safety, every movement calculated. The grizzly approaches, massive and threatening. Growls echo, claws scrape the earth, and the confrontation begins. She stands her ground, defensive but careful, eyes never leaving the bear. For a tense moment, it's a standoff of wills, patience, power, and territory all in play. Finally, almost reluctantly, the grizzly retreats, leaving mother and cubs unharmed. Watching these encounters, you realize survival isn't just about size or speed. It's about instincts, timing, and respect for one another. And in these forests, respect can mean the difference between life and death. Grizzly bear versus elk. But wait, it's about to get way more intense. When a grizzly goes after an elk, it's a full-blown showdown of strength versus speed. Elk aren't just big, they're weapons on 4 legs. Those towering antlers can gore anything that gets too close, and their powerful legs launch them into bursts of speed that seem almost unreal. Still, against a grizzly bear, all that size and skill get tested like never before. Scene 1 drops you right into the chaos. A grizzly barrels downhill, muscles rippling, eyes locked on the elk below. The herd freezes for a heartbeat, almost daring the bear to make a move. And then, chaos erupts. Panic spreads like wildfire, and the elk scatter in all directions. Dust flies, hooves pound the earth, and the bear charges forward, a wall of unstoppable force chasing a wave of survival instincts. You can feel the adrenaline just watching it unfold. Scene 2 shifts to a lone male elk. The grizzly locks on, lunging forward with lethal intent. But the mountain is steep, slippery. Gravity has a say in this fight too. The bear tumbles, momentum lost, while the elk seizes the chance to leap into the river below. The water splashes, frantic but freeing, as the grizzly follows, relentless but hindered. It's a tense dance between predator and prey, where one misstep could decide life or death. Finally, scene 3 brings us to a meadow chase. The bear pushes, charging with brute force, but the elk's endurance tells a different story. Despite the grizzly's relentless pursuit, it can't keep up. The elk glances back once, defiant and exhausted but alive, before vanishing into safety. Every encounter proves one thing: Nature doesn't just hand out victories. It's a high-stakes battle where speed, strength, and stamina collide in moments you'll never forget. Have you ever seen raw survival unfold like this? Imagine being there, heart pounding, watching every leap, every swipe, every desperate sprint. Grizzly bear versus moose. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, a grizzly taking on a moose is pure tension. Elegance versus raw power. Moose are like the royalty of the wild, majestic, towering, and deceptively graceful. But under that elegance lies a raw survival instinct that can rival even the fiercest grizzly. Every encounter with these giants is a lesson in patience, strategy, and sheer force of will. Scene 1 throws us into a lake, water churning as the grizzly lunges after its prey. But the moose has the advantage here. Bigger, stronger, and surprisingly agile in the water. It shifts direction, teasing the bear, darting left, then right, always keeping just enough distance. The grizzly pushes, muscles straining, but exhaustion creeps in. Eventually it gives up, letting the moose's clever tactics win the day. Scene 2 is quieter but no less intense. In a dense forest, a grizzly and a moose lock eyes. Neither moves, both measuring the other, a standoff of sheer respect and survival. No attack comes, just a tense acknowledgement that this isn't the time to strike. Scene 3 ramps up the drama. A mother moose and her calf are cornered by the bear at the shoreline. The grizzly charges aggressively, its claws scraping the earth, but the mother isn't backing down. She positions herself between her calf and the predator, stomping and lunging, a wall of defiance and maternal instinct. The bear hesitates, then retreats, leaving them in peace. These encounters show more than strength. They reveal strategy, endurance, and the fierce instinct to protect. In every interaction, you see the delicate balance of the wild, where size, speed, and courage collide. Watching it unfold, you realize that in the wilderness, survival isn't just about power. It's about knowing how and when to use it. Would you have guessed that elegance and raw survival could be so perfectly intertwined in these titanic battles? Grizzly bear versus wolves. And here's where it gets seriously wild. A grizzly versus a pack of wolves is a battle of brains against brawn. Wolves are the ultimate team players. They hunt in packs, communicate with subtle cues, and coordinate attacks with an almost eerie precision. But when a grizzly enters the picture, everything changes. Strategy meets brute force, and the wolves quickly realize they're up against raw, unstoppable power. Scene 1 drops us into Yellowstone, where snow blankets the ground and a grizzly is busy bearing its latest catch. Wolves, sensing the prize, gather cautiously. They edge closer, testing their luck. The bear doesn't hesitate. It charges, claws scraping, teeth bared, sending a clear warning. Time and again, it lunges, relentless and unyielding. The wolves attempt to stand their ground, but the sheer size and ferocity of the grizzly force them to retreat together, a coordinated withdrawal in the face of overwhelming power. Scene 2 takes us to a forest where wolves are feeding on a fresh kill. Suddenly, a grizzly appears, undeterred and dominant. It seizes the prey with one massive bite, scattering the pack. The wolves snap, strike, and try to intimidate, but one swipe of the bear's claw is enough to send them fleeing. In seconds, the grizzly has claimed control. These encounters aren't just about hunting, they're lessons in territorial dominance and intimidation. The grizzly doesn't need to outsmart every wolf, it simply imposes its will. And the wolves, brilliant and cunning though they are, respect that power instantly. Watching these moments, you can feel the tension, the strategy, and the undeniable raw force of one of nature's greatest predators. It's a reminder, sometimes sheer strength decides the battle before strategy even comes into play. Grizzly bear versus bison, and now the ultimate showdown of sheer size. When a grizzly meets a bison, it's brains versus brute force in epic proportions. Bison are absolute giants, massive, powerful, and intimidating in their own right. When they move as a herd, it's like watching a living wall of muscle and instinct. But even with all that strength, a grizzly doesn't back down easily. Every encounter becomes a tense game of risk, calculation, and survival. Scene 1 unfolds on a roadside, where a lone grizzly slowly crosses its path. Then it spots a group of bison resting on the grassy slope. With eyes locked and muscles coiled, the bear charges downhill, intent on an attack. But as it approaches, the sheer size of the herd hits it. The grizzly hesitates, evaluates, and ultimately retreats, realizing that raw power alone won't win against numbers. You can almost feel the tension in the air, a silent standoff between two titans. Scene 2 flips the dynamic. Here, a bison spots the grizzly first and charges aggressively. The bear meets the charge, a brief standoff erupting as both test each other's strength and resolve. Then, almost strategically, the grizzly disengages, respecting the bison's power and the potential danger of taking on a determined opponent. It's a fascinating glimpse into nature's calculations. Sometimes survival isn't about winning outright, it's about knowing when to fight and when to step back. These encounters show the delicate balance of the wild. Power, strategy, and risk all collide in moments that leave you holding your breath. Watching a grizzly test its limits against a bison is a lesson in respect, where brains and brawn meet and survival is the ultimate prize. The incredible power, strategy, and sheer survival instincts of grizzly bears keep us on the edge of our seats. And if you thought this was crazy, wait till you see what's coming next. So what's your take? Drop it in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe.